If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here's the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach, Christine McIver.
Yes, you are joining us tonight on the Inspired Choices Radio Show, and I am so thrilled to have you all here. Whether you're listening live or in the replay, we are going to have a rockin' time, let me tell you. Before the show starts, I get to be in the backstage with the producers and any of my guests, and we have so much fun, and I'm telling you, we got it started. So hold on to your hat. We are going to have a good time tonight. So tonight I have an amazing woman, and we are going to be talking about magic is just a choice. So my guest tonight is Megan Sillito, and I'm going to be bringing her on in just a minute. If this is your first time connecting with my show, I'm so glad that you're here. I am a possibilities coach, and I love working in all areas of life with people to bring out what they know is truly possible. I love to dance with what's difficult, what's painful, what's emotional, and show people how we can move through that so quickly to create what it is that they absolutely desire and know is available to them. I do one-on-one coaching, I do group coaching, and I also have a couple specialty programs. One of my specialty programs is called Divorce with Dignity. I know that relationships are changing all of the time, whether it's an intimate partner or it's even a family member. And if we can conclude and actually divorce from a relationship with dignity, I wonder what it is that we can actually create with our next relationships. That is a program I absolutely love working with individuals on and seeing where we can create kindness with each other and understanding and still choose beyond what's no longer working for us. So if that's something you're dealing with, I'd love to hear from you. You can connect with me about that or any of my other programs. You can do that at Christine@inspiredchoices.ca, or you can jump over to my website, inspiredchoices.ca. So, on to the show tonight. I can't wait to get started. So, magic is just a choice. What if it's ever present in everything and everyone? What if it's simply waiting for us to choose it? What would be different if you knew you had magic, that it was at your fingertips at any moment? Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Would you be willing to have that be that good for your life? Megan Sillito has over 20 years of masterfully facilitating deep transformation in individuals and groups from all walks of life, from entrepreneurs to artists, housewives to NASA engineers. Like a court jester, she has creatively led thousands to reach beyond their limiting beliefs of what is possible to claim their having it all ridiculous life. She is an international speaker and group facilitator. People coming for Megan's events often say that they are having so much fun they didn't even realize that their whole life had changed. Megan was born in Salt Lake City, Utah, but grew up on a farm in northern Alberta, Canada. She is the baby of 14 and also the oldest of 6. Her unusual beginning and life experiences have led her on a weird journey to discover herself and the universe, cheering on others along her path to do the same. A lifelong student of universal wisdom, she has more than quadrupled Gladwell's 10,000-hour rule, studying and incorporating dozens of modalities in mind, body, and spirit, resulting in a vast toolbox at the ready to launch the inspired client to experience themselves in an entirely new light and create lucrative businesses and lives full of adventure, creativity, play, and I'm going to add magic. You would have to truly be committed to stay the status quo to not consider greater possibilities while in her presence. Megan is the founder of so many different amazing things, and one of the most fabulous courses that I've ever taken, the course called The Workshop, Live Your Magic. Here is our wonderful guest tonight, Megan Sillito. Welcome, Megan.
Woo! It's so funny to hear your life said through someone else's mouth, you know? It's really cool. It's like, oh yeah, I did grow up on a farm. Oh yeah, it was great. Thank you much. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me on. I can't stop talking about magic, so, as many venues as I can have to just, talk, because I'm so excited.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here. And if you don't know, if you're new to Megan, you can connect with her at megansillito.com, and that is megansillito.com. If you're listening to the replay, we will have that link in this replay posting. So, Megan, I got a really, really important question for you. You ready?
Yes. Yeah, go. Ready, set, go.
What is magic?
Thank you. I love that question because it's unanswerable. Like, on the one hand, it's like, it's like magic is this thing that's like when we can't explain how something happened, we call it magic, right? And so it actually is a way to define the inconceivable, right, in a way. And I feel like there's certain things that I could speak to that kind of point in the direction of what it is and my interesting point of view and what I've seen and what I know is that there is a consciousness called magic. And that consciousness is in every molecule in the universe. So that means it's in the earth, it's in our bodies, it's everywhere. There's a consciousness called magic. And that consciousness is a potency. That consciousness is a shortcut. That consciousness is an abracadabra, ask and receive. I open a door and something pops through that I didn't even know that I wanted, And so there's that aspect of it. And then I would also say that on a personal level, like me being my magic is about me claiming the potency that I am, the power that I am to change anything or create anything.
It's funny. Melissa in the chat room says, it's unanswerable, but she's got an answer. And she says, Megan, you're funny.
Go ahead.
I can hear people going, yeah, okay, that's great for you, Megan, that you have this potency, but I don't feel that. I don't think I have magic because look at my shitty life. Because look at this and look at that. Like, I think that is it's not. I don't think it's true for me. What would you say to someone that's in that space right now?
Well, that's the topic of our show, isn't it? Right? Because I didn't say it's just going to show up. I just said that's what it is. You actually have to choose it.
Oh, we have to choose it.
Yeah, guys, you got to choose it, man. It's all around. It's where, and we invoke it through choice by choosing to create it and choosing to connect with it. And that's one of the things that I do in my event, Live Your Magic, is I actually have people connect to the consciousness of magic in themselves and in the universe. So they have a visceral experience of it so that they know it's a choice.
Right.
It's a choice. Right? And they don't know what's on the menu. Right? So like one of my waving my flag is like, it's freaking on the menu. It's like, this just in, magic on the menu. And so it's like, so it's like really that's it. And it's like, it's kind of like, people go, well, I don't know if I'm good enough to be a teacher or a coach, or I don't know if I'm good enough to try out for this team or this voice thing or whatever. And it's like, there's no such thing. It's like, do you choose it? It's like, oh, I don't know if I deserve this. Like, there's no deserving on the planet. Like, that's not how the planet's set up. If it were about deserving, there'd be some kids that ate today that didn't. It's not about that. It's about choice. And magic is no different. It's a choice. And it's not about, if I have to believe it to choose it. It's just, do you choose it?
Wow, you said a lot in that point. Like, holy moly, girlfriend.
I did.
So if this is the first time, or you're considering connecting with Megan or coming out to this amazing Live Your Magic class, please know that Megan packs a punch. That girl, we say that she does a taster on the one night before the event. Yeah, Megan doesn't know how to just give you a taste. She gives you the whole meal. So one of the things that you said was you don't have to deserve it. If that was the case, there would be a lot of children who would have food today. Can you dive into that a little bit more?
Yes. So everybody thinks that they're waiting to deserve something, right? Like, I don't know if I deserve money. I don't know if I deserve happiness. Like, we've had crappy childhoods and we got messages of not deserving, right? But it actually isn't it is not anywhere is it written in the universe that one must deserve something to get something. Nowhere is that law written. And if you look at it, I mean, there's a lot of crappy people that are millionaires, right? It's like they don't necessarily deserve to be millionaires. There's a lot of cool people that are millionaires too. What's different is they chose it. They chose to be a millionaire. They chose to create it. They chose to do what it took to create it, right? It's not about deserving. It's about choice. And so, it's like that's, like, if you look around, the universe is not set up on deserving. It's set up on choice.
Right. So a lot of people will actually look at where their lives are today, and they will say, well, I must have, I'm sure you've heard this, Megan, I must have done something bad in my past life, or, I must have some really shitty karma come my way because look at what's going on. And how do we bring them into really knowing that that's not what's really true? What do you actually invite them into? How do you show them that it's a choice? I guess is what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing I got to do is debunk the idea that karma is not a choice. Right?
Oh.
It's like that's something that Access Conscious gave me. Was like, oh, karma's a choice. Like, cool. Like this idea that I have to pay for some lifetime, whatever to do, right? It's like that's also a choice. And if that's what you believe and that's what your point of view, you will carry those things from lifetime to lifetime or whatever. Or you could go, okay, cool. Like I'm aware of things that I've done, that I've gone, okay, what can I learn from this and what can I choose now? And so in every moment we have an opportunity to choose again, to make a different choice, because no matter what, this is a free will planet. And in this moment, I have an opportunity to make any choice I want. I don't have to wait to deserve it. I don't have to wait to fix my wagon, my shit. I can actually just choose something good for myself, something that feels good to me right now in this moment, regardless of anything that's happened in any part of my life or any other lifetime.
Cool. Yeah. And it's, it's interesting. I've been noticing a lot of people have had a lot of this intense energy. I mean, we are in a time on planet Earth where there's a hell of a lot of intensity up, right? And what I'm loving is also seeing people like yourself who are really stepping forward with, you know what, we have a different possibility. We have a different choice. And it's nearly like I'm seeing the equal of the intensity with the people that are actually stepping up with their knowing, which I'm absolutely loving. So, I wonder from this conversation tonight, how many more people out there, Megan, will be willing to step in and actually choose their magic? And that's my invitation to anyone that's listening. Listen to what Megan's saying, and if you're desiring greater in your life, would you be willing to step forward with your choices? And on that note, we're going to go to our first break. You are listening to the Inspired Choices radio show with myself, Christine McIver, and my wonderful guest, Megan Sillito, here on the Inspired Choices Network. When we get back, we're going to dive in deeper, and we're going to start answering some questions in the chat room. So if you're listening and you'd like to come and play, or if you'd like to call in, please do so. Just listen to our wonderful announcer, and you'll get that information. Stick around, everyone. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How long have you been waiting to uncloak your magic? To allow the magic within you to rise and catalyze into an extraordinary life deep down you know is possible. Live Your Magic is a 2.5-day experience that will move you beyond your mind, ignite your body, and activate the magic that is you. If you are ready to radically tap into your desires, generate more aliveness in your body and your life, then join us at a Live Your Magic event somewhere in the world. Go to megansillito.com and click on events to learn more today. That's MEGANSILLITO.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Wow. Welcome back, everyone. We are here with the magical maker. That's what I love calling her, Megan Sillito. Megan, so what was coming up for you during the break?
What was coming up for me?
Yeah.
Well, I just kind of chilled out in space for a minute. It was like just feeling the little vibes going out, you know.
Cool.
You know, the one thing that did kind of pop after our conversation was that it's really interesting. And my hosts, you're one of my hosts in Toronto. They come and they have an experience of Live Your Magic, and then they want to shout it to the rooftops, right? And that's why I'm in so many cities this year. People are asking to host me, and it's interesting because it's a little bit tougher sell than people first realize. And I think the reason is that the choice for magic increases your potency so substantially that it's super hard to play to play victim, to play small. And the thing is that that's one of the reasons why we're holding limitation is we're actually afraid to own our power. We're afraid to own our potency because then we kind of don't have any more excuses, because if we don't get our shit together, that's just on us. That's what, that's nobody, doing it to us. And so there's this way that it opens a door. It's kind of like, once Harry Potter saw magic, once he went to Hogwarts, there was no going back. There was no, he had to deal with the Muggle world, but it's once he knew that it was there and it was real and it was something you could learn, it was there now. And I think this is a little bit the same. It's once you really realize that it's just a choice, and that you could have your life expand and things could be way easier than you're making them. If you have to give up your stories about that, it really, change is really scary for most of us. We get in our little comfort zones, and to choose magic is to go into the chaos of the unknown and inconceivable. And I mean, it's such a ride, and I would highly recommend it. And it really is a huge step. Choosing magic is a big choice.
Yeah, it is a big choice. It was surprising to me. I flew to the class. I flew from Toronto to Dallas to take the class, and it kind of rocked my world. It kind of tipped me upside down because I'm kind of a bit of a logical thinker. I've got a lot of that in my head, and it really, really pulled on me a lot. Smart. Rhonda in the chat room is saying, kinda. Smart ass. But what I love about what you're saying is, it's kind of like when you choose to start doing self-development work, and if you're listening to this channel, you probably have done some. When you begin to become aware, you can't unknow something. And when you're willing to show yourself how you can use that to create pleasure and joy and fun and possibilities in your life, that's when the real magic can step in. And I think that's what you're alluding to with once you actually start to unlock and choose the magic in your life, yes?
Mhm. Yes, and you can also choose to invoke magic to help you assimilate magic. Right? I think one of the reasons why choice and change feels hard to people is because we made it hard. And it actually, in part, it gets anchored in at birth, right? Think about how we come. Like we always talk about how painful it is for the mom, but what for the baby, right? Getting squished through that little tiny tunnel,
right.
Blood, gut, people screaming, that's our first big transition into the world. So we all have some kind of an imprint that says change is hard. And so what if you do want more? What if you do want magic and you're scared of the change? Well, what if you could invoke magic to make the change easier?
Nice.
And what if we could what if transitions could be fun? What if they could be an adventure, right? And it doesn't mean they're not bumpy, but how could we create a little bit of more of that space of magic to play in, to play our way through, so to speak,
Yeah.
And the thing that I find what I love about what you said, Christine, is I have this sort of saying is the harder they are, the harder they fall. Like when people come in and I find that there's a lot of people that are like you, that are super, super logical, or they have something that they put on their magic to make sure it can never get out because they're so effing magic. And it's such whoa, if I really let that out, I'm going to be the biggest weirdo on the planet, And so I find that it's super common to have people that are super magic have something like you came in with, all that logic and stuff to kind of keep you out of really just tapping it.
Right. Yeah, I know. You keep rubbing up against that with me. I'm completely aware. I don't know when you're here. I don't know. Maybe we'll unleash it more. What do you think? Guess it's just a choice.
Sweetie, I'm going to be staying with you. If you think you're going to not be brought up against it, you are sadly mistaken.
Gee, I wonder what I've created.
You're going to be in my space for good luck trying to stop that.
Okay. All right. And now, onto the chat room. We have a lot of questions in the chat room, Megan, and they're really, really good. So the first one is, hold on. So Leslie says, so even if magic is a choice, how do you get out of fear when you are stuck?
Well, that's $1 million question. There's a lot of tools, that I have around fear. I mean, Access Consciousness talks about fear, emotion not being real or it being misidentified and misapplied. For me, I find that if you're in that fear place, it's really hard to talk yourself out of it. It'd be like if your kid's hiding under the bed because he's scared of a monster, and you just go under and yell at him because his fear isn't real. I don't think that's going to help or get him out from under the bed. It's not going to be soothing at the very least. You know, and what you resist persists, right? So what I would say, this is actually an access consciousness process that really it eases my fear just enough that I can take the next step, and it's what energy, space, and consciousness may have by ease and clarity with all of this. And see, when one of the things about magic is that magic makes space and it requires space. So if we're all like constricted and holding on and like all like wound up, it's really hard to see what's called magic. It's really hard to see possibilities. So anything that we can do that kind of creates that we can see a different possibility.
Megan, you're breaking up a little bit. The connection's breaking up a little bit. I don't know if there's an adjustment that you can do to kind of pull in, and let's all just ask for the magic to ensue to get Megan even clearer. Can you hear me, Megan?
Mm-hmm. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, much better. That's better.
Is that any better? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we've got another question. Rhonda's asking, what would you say to someone who has extensive info, awareness tools, and knows how to change things, but things aren't changing, and they are actually going in the quote-unquote wrong direction, like the magic is missing or hidden or cloaked?
Cool. So the first thing that I would say is I'm actually kind of reading some energy in this, but so this is maybe a place to go, and it may be specific to this question, but one of the things that I see so much is that people will have a lifetime of beating themselves up, making themselves wrong for this or that or the other, and then they get into consciousness. And they go, oh, finally, I don't have, there's an answer, and I don't have to be broken, I don't have to be wrong. But because they're been so committed to making themselves wrong, they now use the tools to make themselves wrong. It's like I call it using the tools as weapons. And so it's like now I can really beat myself up because I just spent all this money on all this training, and I'm still messed up. I'm still buggered up, and what I would say, number one, is what's the value of seeing yourself as wrong, seeing yourself in the wrong direction, right? And everything that brings up and lets down, let's unframe and just say that.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot and pock, all nine boys, short span. And it's a little bit of what I would call a double bind, right? Because it's like I am doing better. I have all these tools. I have created new things and good results in my life with them. But then, at some point, if I'm not where I want to be, conclusion, that then I make everything that I'm using wrong, right? Let's go, okay, well, apparently they work for everyone else but not me. So I really am I am the tart of the universe. I am the only one that's never going to get it, And so that would be the first place I would go with that question. And then what I would do is I would begin to invoke magic and go, hey, universe, what magic am I that I've been refusing? Universe, show me the magic of me. Universe, what magic, what space of this came out in my morning radio show today, is what space of magic can I bring to this area? So what space of magic can I bring to my money? What space of magic can I bring to my relationships? Right? Because I'll guarantee you that if something is stuck, you're constricting around it. And we generally constrict through our points of view, through our self-beat up, through our limiting point, our limiting thoughts will constrict. And so by just saying, hey, when you actually add magic to something, one of the things you're doing is you're changing the frequency of it and you're creating space around it.
That is awesome, because even if you don't realize, you just spoke to my logical brain.
Oh, I did? Well,
you did. You are magic.
Thank you. I must be.
Oh my gosh, we have so many questions in the chat room. We're going to go to our next break, and when we get back, we're going to answer all of these and more. If any of this, of what Megan is sharing, what we're talking about tonight, is pulling you in, and you're asking the questions, and you really are desiring to have more of what she knows and what we are creating in Toronto, and then she's going to be creating in Utah, right? In Salt Lake City.
Yes.
Please go over to her website, megansillito.com. Check with her on Facebook, Megan Sillito Public Figure. You'll find her Facebook page there, or you can connect with me and I will put you in touch with her, because you know what, folks, it's time. It's so time for all of us to have way more magic in this world. I'm choosing it. I hope you are too. So, let's go to our break. You're listening to Christine McIver, Megan Sillito here. Magic is just a choice. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you ready to have pleasure with your business? Yes, I said pleasure with your business. The Pleasure of Business a la carte will surprise you with topics like meet yourself in the boardroom, money, services, and you. Expand your visibility. The pleasure of communication. The pleasure of Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Christine McIver has so much pleasure with business and loves teaching all things business. Beginning a new business? Desiring to expand a current business? Or looking to resurrect a business that has been dormant? This program will get you fired up and bring more pleasure than you have ever imagined. Exhausted with your excuses for not creating a phenomenal business? Join now for all the pleasure with business. Pleasure of Business a la carte gives you total choice for what you desire and what your business requires. That's 24 weeks of different topics to choose from, with weekly calls, audio and video recordings, and PDFs. This class will have you dive right in and use tools to create the business that has been speaking to you. Go to inspiredchoices.ca for full details, or join the Facebook page, Pleasure of Business a la carte. Now is the time for you and your business.
This is Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Oh, welcome back, everyone. We are here with the beautiful Megan Sillito. She is a funny woman. She's a magical woman, and she's making change in the world, so I'm having it. How about you? So, Megan, we have so many questions and comments in the chat room. It's phenomenal. Faith says, I choose magic too. I picked up a magical object tonight, and since then, I'm in choosing magic. Out of the blue, I mean in the space. 2 people contacted me at the same time for my services. I mean, hello? How awesome is that?
Mm-hmm.
We'll have more of that.
Yeah. Because it's like we just make shit so hard when we could just add a dash of magic and add some energy and presence and sparkle, and things start to move. Like, part of what I think is so magic in the universe is that the molecules in everything have intelligence. And we know that now. We know that through quantum physics. And we know also that we can talk. to that intelligence. We know now that we can talk to it. And so to engage a conversation with the molecules, that's part of what we're doing with magic. It's like we're saying, she's picking up this magical thing, and she's literally imbuing her life force with the energy of it, and it opens space. We don't know it's going to come when we open space. It's like in the chat room, they were asking if they should invoke magic and then define what they want. I said, no, invoke magic, but don't define what you want, because when you open up the space, that's when the universe starts communing with you, and it starts to open up possibilities of things that are even greater than what you could even define. And so you want to make room for that.
That's so cool. So, let's see. We got another question. Alfie says, Megs, what would you recommend for people that have a lot of body pain due to using magic against themselves, or just the sheer effort of keeping it in?
Well, the sheer effort of keeping it in is using it against yourself.
Right.
It's trying to hold, like, okay, so if you try to cork Niagara Falls, that would hurt you. When
it would be painful.
When we try to cork our magic, it's super painful. Like, this is a weird thing to quote because I'm not religious, really, but there's a series of books that were the books that were left out of the Bible back in 4th century AD, and they were left out of the Bible because they were very empowering and didn't require a priest to, go get forgiveness and stuff. And basically there were notes on all kinds of different things, and one of them is called the Gospel of Thomas. And supposedly it was notes taken of Jesus' sermons. And one of the quotes in there is something that has always struck me as true, is that what was said was, if you bring forth that which is in you, it will save you. If you do not, it will destroy you. Because what is in us is a force. It is a fire. It is a power. What happens when you have a fire and you're trying to control it or stuff it? You get burned.
Yeah. You can't stuff it back in. Very cool. So we've got so many opportunities to actually invoke magic. What do you find is the number one thing that actually keeps people back from invoking that? It's kind of toss up between the habit of unconsciousness. We've all done this. We've all gone to workshops, got really excited because we got shown our possibilities. And of course, our spirit and our soul lights up, and we want to dance with that. Right. Then we go back to our lives that have a certain degree of unconsciousness before we went to the workshop. And it's super easy because most of our lives reinforce heaviness, unconsciousness, and life is hard. And so I would say that's the number one thing is people forget. This is number one thing for me. Like, here's my secret sauce. Like, because I'm kind of a tard, right? It takes me a long time to get things. So, like, for me, when I really want to get something, I teach it. Because then I have to be accountable to it all the time. How many radio shows can I get on and talk about magic? So I can remember to invoke the magic in my life. Right. I was talking to a client the other day, and he was telling me how when he does proposals, he puts magic in his email. And I was like, why have I been doing that? Thanks, that's
dude.
awesome.
Thanks for reminding me. Yes. And so what I would say is, and this is something that's really starting to happen with Live Your Magic, is becoming a community of people that remind each other about the magic, no matter what's going on. Like, it's really cool, like in Magic School, which is the online version that sort of birthed Live Your Magic. Like, people don't go, oh, my for life. They go, oh, this is going on, send me magic. Or, like, we're reminding each other to ask those kind of questions, to add magic, to go to the magic first. rather than as the last resort. Because this is like, okay, this is what we do, right? It's like nothing else has worked, so we pray. And then we have to like apologize for not talking to God for the last 15 years, right? So most people, they make it their last choice, right? And what could we do? What could we implement to have it feel like the first choice and our go-to? And really come to live your magic more than once is to have, like, be in that, dipped in that energy again and to remind themselves of who they are.
Yeah. I love that. What would it take for us to all be using our magic first instead of a last resort? I just wrote this down on a board right in front of me, Megan. That is, I just love that. So we've got another question I would love to talk about. So in the chat room, while you are doing your part of creating your magic, how do you personally protect yourself energetically from others who are either energy vampires or intentionally or subconsciously project their fears and jealousy towards you?
Well, I have an interesting point of view about that, and Access Consciousness teaches about this, but I kind of had this point of view before Access Consciousness, which is that an infinite being does not require protection. If you're
we lost her for a second. There you are.
And most of what we need protection from is because we have points of view. We're seeing ourselves as smaller than, and so we have to protect ourselves against the bad guys, which is only a construct that we bought into. And one of the things that I teach people to do in Live Your Magic is actually to become so much bigger than anything you could possibly consider an obstacle, right? It's like when things are really hard and we're scared and we're hiding under the covers and we feel like Eeyore, right, or Piglet, right? The smallest thing can feel like a huge problem. But when you're in your magic, and this is the question that I would ask, anybody that's kind of coming up against this question is like, when you're actually in your most potent self, do you require protection? And is anything big enough to stop you when you're in that place?
Hell no.
Hell to the no.
Hell to the no. Yeah. That's so, I just totally can see that. Like, there's moments when, I'm just like turned on and tapped in, and it's like nothing can stop me. Absolutely nothing. And then it's interesting how different experiences that can shift. And why would we allow that to shift? More magic, please, more magic.
And it is a practice, There's still times that I feel like the thing I'm up against is bigger than me. And so I'll actually, whatever I can do, invoke magic, ask a question, breathe through it, feel it, whatever I got to do to make enough space so I can see the possibility that lies beyond the stuckness, or the possibilities. Most of the time, there's more than one.
Right. So, Megan, why don't we, before we go to our next break, I would love to have you kind of break down what people actually experience in the Live Your Magic class.
That's such a great question, because it's so hard to answer. Again, it's one of those, wow. And it's funny because there was a couple people at my belly what this really is. And I was it's been such a challenge to try to find words for what this is, because it's almost undescribable, because it is being in a space of magic where things occur that you couldn't predict, that things change, that things come, like abilities come out of you didn't know you had, it's kind of a three-ring circus a bit, but I mean, and it's fun. I mean, it's just a party, but it's like all these new energies open up in people, and they discover more of who they are. They leave turned on and turned up. And I've had people like all from things like having like changing like there was a woman in Bellingham that had been in pain in her body for over 10 years, every day, intense pain. After like halfway through the first night, her body shifted completely out of pain and never went back into it. And she actually did a foundation on the back end of that with me and did not have any physical pain the entire time after 10 years of physical pain. That kind of stuff that I can't say exactly, oh, you'll get this, this, and this, because I don't know what the magic will bring you. I don't know what the magic's going to open up in you. For like some people, they experience extraordinary magical gifts of things that they can do. There is a girl that was at Salt Lake Live Your Magic that just sent me a Marco Polo that she has moved 2 objects now without her body, with just her mind. You know, it's like, I couldn't have predicted that. I've had people, it changed their money flows. I've had people like just pop into big spaces of like flow and love and creativity. Certain businesses opened up. Like I don't know what the magic will bring you, but I know if this call is interesting to you and there's something calling you about magic, that it will open up something for you. But I'm a space where it can be anything, and it can be huge. It could be life-changing if you want it to be.
I love that. Yeah, it obviously is life-changing for so many people. That's phenomenal. So, well, the parts that were really so much fun that I enjoyed, first of all, you dive into areas that I've never seen anybody do in the class. And you're such a presence of inviting everyone into knowing what they know, which is fantastic. It's not a just sit and listen to Megan talk class at all. She is one of the most interactive facilitators that I've ever had the pleasure of being with. And then the dancing and the laughter and instruments and what else? What else, Megan, are you bringing in?
Well, I have, you know what? I have a new signature process that I debuted in Bellingham that Toronto is going to get the more polished version of it, and it's called Into the Heart of the Dragon. And it is one of the things that I believe is that the pure we can experience our heart, because our hearts are pure. We've kind of covered it up with stuff. And by purity, I don't mean perfect, or I don't mean hasn't seen anything. By purity, I mean you see it all, and you have love and allowance for it all, right? There's nothing wrong or bad of anything in your life. And when we can come to that place of what I call a pure heart, then we begin to access potency and magic at a whole other level. And it's a guided journey that I do with drumming. It's people's favorite new process in Bellingham. So I'm getting rave reviews with it. And I'm super excited to debut it. Yes. And I mean, there's the Magic Carpet Ride, where I take you back before to give you an experience before right and wrong existed in the world, not just in you. And it's another very potent process. And I make stuff up, as you know. Like every group is different, and every group gathers for a particular reason. They don't know what they're gathering, and we won't all know till we get in the room together. And the people ask their questions, and we see what emerges. Like I created another new process. It was just in the moment in Bellingham, where we did a process of, I called it the communion of creation, where the entire group created something together, and we bounced off of creation points and expanded the possibilities. And it was one of the coolest experiences. It brought a couple people to tears to be in that level of creation with a whole group of people. So there's just all kinds of stuff that who knows what's going to happen in Toronto. I just know it's going to be magic.
How much fun are you having connecting with people all over the world and invoking the magic to come forth? Like, holy moly, girlfriend.
It's the best job in the world, Christine.
Like, oh my God, it's so awesome.
If you go to my website, megansillito.com, and you go under events, there's a promotional video about Live Your Magic, and I actually say in there why I created Live Your Magic. I didn't know, this was actually, I was interviewed before the launch of it, so I hadn't experienced what it was going to be yet. But I knew I was creating it to get more playmates. I knew that I was looking for other people to play with in the magic, because I just think that when there's no magic, or when you don't believe in magic, you're hanging out with people who are insisting on being muggles, that it's just boring. And so I created this to have playmates around the world. So I am ecstatic is the short answer to your question.
I love it. I love that you are being selfish and you're pulling all of these amazing people together so we can all have more fun and play and magic. Like, how does it seriously get any better than that? So we are, I just want to let everybody know, so October the 13th through the 15th, 2017, Megan is going to be in Toronto, the Toronto area. She's actually going to be sleeping in my house. How does it get any better than that? And we're going to be hosting, my wonderful friend Melissa Jelinek and I are hosting her here in the Toronto area. And we also have a taste of magic with her as soon as she gets off the plane nearly on the Wednesday the 11th. And that is going to be a potent class, just that alone, and it's only $20 to come out for the evening. For like, seriously, Megan, what you give in 1 hour knocks my socks off. Like, what people are going to be getting in that taster will be phenomenal. So if you would like to come and play with us in Toronto, please connect through her website, or you can contact me, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca, and we will get you all connected up. You can also find the Live Your Magic classes through the event on Facebook. And then in November the 17th through the 19th, she's going to be in Salt Lake City, Utah with the Live Your Magic. And this is the second time you're doing it in Salt Lake City, is it not, Megan?
Yes, it is, backed by popular demand.
Backed by popular demand. I am not surprised.
It actually is. Everybody had so much fun. Everybody was talking about it, and like I literally had like 20 requests to bring it back to Salt Lake this year. So
how does it get any better than that? Salt Lake City is on fire. That is fantastic. Mm-hmm. So, Megan, I know that also if people want to connect with you and they want to have a one-on-one session, you also do private sessions in addition to your classes, correct?
Yes, I do. I do group events. I do telecalls. I do team building, and I do one-on-one coaching.
Phenomenal.
And I basically go ahead.
What I was just going to say, so how do they get a hold of you for the personal one-on-one sessions? Do they just email you?
Yeah, they could email me, megansillito@gmail.com, or you can Facebook Messenger me and just say, hey, I'm interested in your sessions. What does that look like? And what I do is I do what I call project-based coaching. I do a few one-offs, but I really like to dive in with people. As you know, Christine, I like to go deep. Mm-hmm. So I like to dive in with people, and I generally like to help them create something in the world that has, teeth to it. And what I do is I sit down and I have a conversation, and we look at what is it that you really want to create. So I will spend a half an hour to an hour on just a discovery time with somebody to see if we're a fit for each other.
Cool. We have got 10 seconds left. Megan, thank you so much. And I can't wait. 1 week from tonight, guys, we are going to be in Toronto with Megan having a riot. See you then, everybody. Thanks, Megan. Bye for now.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show.
Bye.
Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.